in some of the world's worst documents. I'm talking tax returns from 1982, where you were audited and then you kept it just in case you'd ever be audited again. Packets of paper with advertisements alike, with staples galore, social security numbers, pre-authorized checks, things you just don't know how to dispose of because you also wonder, why would anybody send those to me? Now we have a while supplies last with a comparable retail value that should be $121 for our micro cut shredder that actually you can shred up to 100 sheets of paper at a time through staples and credit cards and more, now for less than $100 and ships to your door absolutely free. Now, while supplies last truly means that we have taken all of the inventory of this micro shredder, saved it for you guys at this amazing price. We started the season with more than 6 colors. We now have 3 remaining in your rose gold, your black, and your silver. It's E233076. Who knew you could make confetti out of your most crazy, personal, confidential documents? Hi, Craig Smith.
I've been doing it the whole holiday season.
How are you?
Excellent
it's so
to see you as always.
Craig is one of our electronics experts, but in this case, I feel like he's making our household safer than ever because every household should have a shredder with all the stuff that we get.
We all have that personal information. Either we get it in the mail every single day, and I don't know about you, but I'm guessing 60 to 70% of the mail that I get, especially this time of year, stuff that I don't want.
Yep.
I love the Christmas cards, but I get so many other forms, credit card offers, something about it, renewing insurances, all that stuff. And what we do, unfortunately, Courtney, is we have that personal or private information, the financial information, and we go, how am I going to get rid of this? Because I don't want to share this with the world. And unfortunately, most of us do. We take that envelope, we just go, I don't need that, I'm just going to tear it in half, and I'm going to throw it in the trash can. When it comes to identity theft, this does absolutely nothing. This is one piece of paper into 2, right? This Royal Shredder, because it's a micro cut shredder, if you take one regular piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, and put it through this shredder, it turns it in to over 1,100 little pieces. So yes, we can make
a single 8 by 10.
Single 8.5 by 11, single regular piece of paper.
Way off. That's a standard portrait size photo. That's my bad.
Yeah, there we go, man. And by the way, this is what's happening to it right here. So now when you throw this at the trash can on garbage night, and somebody wants to go through your garbage and take that, congratulations. You got a bunch of confetti, and you're not going to get any of my personal information thanks to this shredder.
Well, and how many of us have just that stack of paper that we'll get to eventually?
Yep, we all do it.
How nice is it that you can throw all 100 sheets, including envelopes, including those credit card offers that you don't need, into this little feeder, turn it on and forget it.
Yeah, there's actually 2 different ways you can shred on this machine. Genius. So the first way, there's a little slot up here on the top. And that slot on the top is going to take up to 9 pages at a time. That little slot on the top will take pieces of paper that are stapled together, no problem at all. 3, 4, 5 staples into this, about, let's see, 3 or 4 pieces of paper. It'll go right through. It'll also take your credit cards. But then when I open up this flap right here, this top flap, that's where you can use that auto feed tray. And that is ideal for anybody who has the filing cabinet that's busting at the seams or that pile of paper sitting at the side of the desk saying, you know what? One of these days I'm going to get rid of it. Well, guess what? Stop all that clutter and taking up space in your house. Do it today. Put it in a Royal Shredder like this, and this will automatically pull page after page after page. So if you're clearing out the years of taxes, this is a great way to do it. You can walk away from the machine once it's in that auto feed tray.
Yeah, you're not at the dining room table cutting up
going
30
page after page after page.
Different pieces for a single page. If I put a bunch of paper in the auto feed and it's got one of the credit card offers that are glued to the sheet of paper, is that still fine to put through the auto feeder?
I'd imagine it probably would. I'd recommend though, because when you want to put credit cards or thicker things through pop that off and I put it through the front slot. And even the front slot as well will take whole envelopes as well, depending how thick they are.
Sure.
But a lot of that junk mail we get, or your credit card statement or something that you kind of look at and go, all right, I know I don't need this. This will take an entire envelope and pop it through that front slot.
And this is that time of year that even if you're paperless, they still send to the end of the year paper balances, year-end reviews, and you're thinking that's a lot of information of how we spend our money, how we spend our time, what we've invested in. And so when you see something like this for less than $100, remember, this is something that you'll have forever to use every single day, that you're not really having to question and worry about, okay, well, I took out the trash, but did I take it out with some of our most sensitive information?
Yeah, and by the way, all it takes is a little bit of information for the bad guys to get. They're looking for your name, your date of birth, your social security number, account information. I know one thing. Little nuggets, and they put together a profile, and then they use that profile to take out a loan. They use that profile to buy this and that. Another way that's causing problems nowadays, if you use the mobile apps on your phone to deposit checks, well, take a look at this. There's a check. It has a name, an address, it has the routing number and the account number on this account right here. By the way, this is a fake one, obviously. We didn't want to show anybody's personal information, but a lot of people now, they use the mobile deposit app. They take a picture of the check, and then they hang on to the check. Check's been deposited, and next thing you know, 3 months later, I still got this laying around on my desk. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of checks, just like you got a whole bunch of other information. Drop those checks right in here as well. And by the way, both of these trays actually work at the same time as well. So you just saw I dropped the check in the front slot. The auto feed trays working at the same time. And we had this little clear bin custom made just to kind of show you what goes on inside the machine. Your bin will have a colored bin with this cutout window here. So this just kind of shows you what happens to page after page after it goes through this shredder.
We started this season with 6 colors. We're now down to 3 in rose gold, black, and silver. And just as you see that confetti in that clear bin, not every shredder is like that, and that's important to note.
Yes, that's actually why we have these 3 little bins down here. So this is a micro cut shredder. We talked about it a little bit earlier. One piece of paper going through this shredder, a regular 8.5 by 11, turned into 1,100 pieces. And you talk about other kinds of shredders. By the way, shredders first came on the market. This is what they look like here. This is 25 pages of what they call strip cut shredding. So the shredder cuts in one different direction, straight lines. That's why you get like these spaghetti noodle looking things here of the red paper. Next to that, we have what's called cross-cut shredding. And this is still very popular. They still sell a lot of cross-cut shredders in the stores today. People think, oh, I got cross-cut. That's perfect. That protects all my identity. By the way, it's pretty good, but you could still see on these yellow strips of paper, I could easily get a password off of there.
I could get a routing number.
I could get script information off of here.
A social security number.
What does Royal do? Royal's a company that's been around since 1904. They are giants in the office equipment business. They do micro-cut, and this is the same number of pages, 25 pages, of what they call micro-cut shredding. That's the difference right there. So not only does it take up less space, which is nice because you don't have to empty the bin as often, but more importantly, it's tearing apart every piece of paper you put through there. So now if somebody picks this up out of the trash can, hey, you can have a blast with this stuff, but you're not going to get any information out of me once it goes through a Royal shredder.
Well, and the nice thing about the Royal shredder too is I feel like we have such nice home decor friendly colors in the rose gold, the silver, and then obviously the black. I mean, this is something that you could keep right out next to the trash can in your home, like instead of like where you check the mail. Like for us, it's like our front entryway. We could put that like right next to our little radiator table, just as easy. And then when it's time to take it out, it's time to take it out. Now, on average, do you have this at home? Like, how often do you empty this bin? Like,
I'd say every like 2 weeks for me.
2
For
weeks?
me personally, it's about every 2 weeks. I shred a lot of the junk mail that I get.
Sure.
I've gotten into the habit now. I don't hang on to as much of the paperwork anymore. But there's still stuff that just shows up, things that you haven't used in a while. And this is a great way to get rid of it, rather. Nice feature as well, Courtney, comes completely assembled.
Awesome.
All you have to do is take it out of the box, plug it into a wall outlet, and it comes with the caster wheels on it already as well. So you talked about keeping it at the entranceway. A desk is a perfect space for this, maybe under the kitchen bar or so, because you can roll it out when you need it, and then you can hide it away when you don't.
This staple is really like just what gets me. Because
you like that staple?
Like that's just the kind of thing that if you ever had a shredder in your house, would just in a no-fly zone, it's gonna jam it and probably break it.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go for 10. 8, 9, 10.
It just bothers me so much.
One extra one just for fun. It's only 2 pieces of paper, but with the staples in it, doesn't even slow this machine down. There's no maintenance involved either. Just plug it in, shred away. There goes a credit card. There goes another one.
And those credit cards too, I feel like they've been sending in the mail like candy that are pre-approved with crazy high limits, and knowing that you could just in a second get rid of that versus breaking out the shears and cutting every single number into 4 different pieces.
If you want to spend 10 minutes cutting your credit cards apart, have a good time, where you
It's
can
a
do it like in a
lifetime
couple
of regret
seconds. Yeah.
that you'll never get back in terms of
No, you're
time
not gonna
and
get
how
that
you
time
spent
back.
it. All right, silver, black and rose gold, while supplies last, at less than $100. You won't see this anywhere else. And of course, we're thrilled to offer you great easy pay. Started the season with 6 colors. Now we're down to 3. And of course, it ships to your door for free, which is awesome because that's another $7.50 savings. As always, good to see you.
Awesome to see you.
Hotty toddy.
That's right.
Yay,
Go Rebs, right?
Go Rebs. Thank you for being an Ole Miss fan in Pennsylvania. I really appreciate it. All right, so still to come. When I